and welcome to the K-Files. It's JP and myself this morning. Welcome, JP.
Good morning. I'm glad to be here.
Glad you came from the southern end of the county. You know, JP drives quite a ways, and I didn't realize how far he drove until I went to an event down there, and I said, my God, he drives a long way to get here. So we appreciate it.
It's worth it. I enjoy it.
Well, so y'all had an event.
We did. We had a meet and greet for Freddie Howell this past, I believe it was Tuesday night at the Italian restaurant there in town called the Leaning Tree.
Yes.
We were prepared to have 80 to 100 people, and it was standing room only. There was not an empty seat in the house. We had the sheriff come speak. Representative Alan Chester was on hand. We had the mayor of Bailey, the mayor of Middlesex, Owen Strickland, Lou Harvey Lewis. We actually had some former Nash County EMS employees that came forward and shared some eye-opening issues that what we suspected was going on with Nash County EMS. I think it was recorded. I think we will try to get you some information on that. We'd love to share it with the public.
Yes.
But great time, great venue, great people. Saw a lot of people I hadn't seen in a while. But Sheriff spoke, talked about public safety, a lot of issues that he's been having. But folks, regardless of how you vote, who you support, please be an informed voter.
Yes. Please
be an informed voter and exercise your right to vote, regardless of the candidate that you support.
That's right. Now, I believe he's having a meet and greet in Spring Hope, did I see?
He is. Saturday from 11 to 1.
This Saturday?
This Saturday at the train depot.
Okay.
Freddie's going to have a meet and greet. It's kind of impromptu. Stop by, get a free barbecue sandwich, soft drink, bag of chips, and meet one-on-one with Freddie. You know, just kind of engage him, talk to him, find out where he stands on issues. You might agree with him, you might not.
Right.
I'm sure the sheriff might be there. I know for a fact that Representative Alan Chester is going to be there. And engage these candidates, you know. Find out where they stand on things that are near and dear to you.
Well, somebody asked us, you know, was there a voter guide? They said, and that is a good tool to get to know what these candidates stand for, but there is not one. So, and there won't be one until the general election. So these meet and greets are good ways for you to face the candidate, ask a question, ask them your question. You know, I've got a candidate that I've got some questions for, and I'm not going to vote. I don't like the opponent. I will not vote for the opponent. And I said to myself, if you don't give me the answers I want, I'm going to leave this blank.
Yeah.
I've never done that.
Yeah.
I've never done that, but I'm going to.
Something that people need to be aware of too is don't blindly toe the line for somebody who's asking you to vote against somebody.
Right.
Educate yourself on what, and we'll use Representative Alan Chester as an example. Full disclosure, he is a very good personal friend of mine.
Right.
Former law enforcement officer, great family guy. Nothing against his opponent. I've had people come to me and say, JP, you need to consider supporting his opponent. I'm like, time out. Okay, why? Well, there's just a lot of things you don't know. Okay, tell me. Why? Well, he's not a team player. No, give me more than that. Why? This man delivered almost $95 million to Nash County. He has helped fund some repairs to the jail. He has brought home and delivered to Nash County. He's helped secure funding for a brand new middle school in southern Nash County. He's got fire department's brand new truck. Tell me, policy-wise, why I shouldn't support this man. He's a proven leader already in 2 years. Well, there's just some things you don't. Tell me. Let's talk about it. Let's debate it.
Well, you do have to have concrete reasons.
Yeah.
And they need to deal with issues. They don't need to deal with any candidate. They don't need to deal with, well, I just don't like their demeanor. Well, I don't care about demeanor.
Give me some substance.
And I will go out on a limb and say, I don't care about demeanor. Because of guess who?
Well,
Donald Trump.
I've never.
I don't care what Donald Trump says, but I know what he did.
Yeah. I don't get caught up in the political who's who. Well, I'm friends with this guy, so I'm going to work against you or work in favor for him. I don't toe the line blindly for nobody.
Right.
I'm one of these people from North Carolina that we're known for to split tickets.
Mm-hmm.
That's me. I'm a ticket splitter. I vote for the person. I do the research on the individual. I know where they stand on issues that mean something to me. I'm that guy.
Mm-hmm. Well, hopefully that you will be an informed voter. That's what we want you to be, and that's the reason we've had so many interviews on the station and done all of these things, so that you can be informed and make up your own mind who you want to vote for. But do make sure that they stand for what you want them to stand for. You have to know what they stand for in order to vote. So hopefully you will do that, do your homework, but and go out and meet some of these candidates that are having meet and greets and things like that. So anyway, we do appreciate, I do want to say that we are getting some tips on the K-Files, getting some activity. We appreciate it. It is anonymous. Not going to talk about the case right now, but we did get a tip yesterday and got one 2 weeks ago. So we appreciate you calling, and if you know anything, just something that the person that called me yesterday, just one little tidbit of what that person said might help solve this case. We don't know. So please continue to call and let us know. The number's on the bottom of the screen, or you can call the station. A lot of them are choosing to call the station. That is perfectly fine. Some of you see me on TV, you know me and JP from the K-Files. If you want to reach out to us, you can certainly do so. So anyway, we just want to solve a crime, that's all. That's all. We have a lot of crimes in this book that are unsolved, and there's more than this. This is not all. So please know that it is anonymous. There is $15,000 at stake. So,
I was telling you, I've been working the polls over in Nashville, just kind of hanging out. Yes, I have been giving out some voter guides as a citizen of Nash County who's pro-law enforcement, pro-public safety, pro-first responder. I have, and will continue to do so as a private citizen. By the way, anybody who wants a sample ballot, if you'll follow me on Facebook, James P. Barnes or JP Barnes, you'll find me on Facebook. Send me a friend request. I have a sample ballot. But you'd be surprised at the number of people who come through and they're like, JP, good to see you. And I'm like, I don't know this person. And they go on in, they come on out and vote. And I'm like, sir, how do I know you? And he's like, I watch you on TV. And I was like,
they can see us, but we can't see them.
Okay, gotcha. And that has happened numerous times over the past week. It sure has.
Well, we appreciate you acknowledging us, because we, as I just said, we can't see you. We don't know who you are, but you certainly get to know us. So please speak to us when you see us in the public. Let us know you're watching and like the show. That's the reason we do it. We don't get up early in the morning and do this and prepare for nothing. So we're glad that it's not in vain. I want to mention, since you're a former Highway Patrol, how many officers are the Highway Patrol down in North Carolina?
Almost 400.
Well, I believe that now.
Almost
had an
400.
incident. Close to my house, we had an accident. One of my neighbors pulled out in front of a car. There's a curve, and it's kind of hard to see sometimes. And one of my neighbors pulled out of the driveway in front of the car, and it was not good. It was bad. And so my husband goes down there, but I'm looking out the window trying to see what I can see. And so I look, and here comes the Westmount. Kudos to Coopers and Westmount always, and all the other fire departments, but I'm just saying I've had experience with these. Westmount, here come the rescue, here comes the fire truck, you know, they're there. What is their job on the scene of an accident? Their job is to tend to that patient, that person that's in that accident. Well, I looked and I said, where's the highway patrol? Where's the highway patrol? And I kept thinking to myself, what in the world? Because the cars were blocking the road because they were in the middle of the road. One had been turned all around and this. And I said, where's the highway patrol? My gosh, am I going to have to go direct traffic? And so, but it is not the job of that rescue truck or that fire truck to direct traffic. It is their job to that patient, that person that was in that accident, make sure they're okay and tend to their needs. Is that not correct?
No, you're right. And a lot of times, you know, these volunteer firemen or these other Nash County EMS or first responders are put into a situation to where they have to direct traffic.
But
Until a
suppose they
Nash
only
County
have
deputy.
one on the truck.
This goes back to, you know, a campaign issue involving the sheriff, that's involving Nash County EMS, that's involving first responders. They need help.
Yeah.
And just like your neighbor, she probably didn't even realize how strapped we are for resources.
And that made me
until
realize
this
it.
happened.
Well, the highway patrol did come, and highway patrol are the ones that respond normally to accidents.
That's right.
There was no deputy that came from Nash County. It was highway patrol. They finally got there, and I thought to myself, you know, we hear that they are, that's what I had heard, 400, listen at that, 400 highway patrol officers down we are in North Carolina.
I just want the public to understand, please, just know that these troopers or these deputies or these police officers aren't hearing this call and sitting at Gold Rock.
Oh, no, it's
drinking
not
a
their
cup of
fault. It's not their fault.
yeah.
It's no telling where that guy had to come from.
And I guarantee you he had calls what we call stacked. In other words, he was going from call, half further, going to that call,
Yes.
half further. And, you know, it's where we find ourselves.
Yeah.
These guys up in Wake County, they check 1041 in the morning. Good morning, Raleigh. C937's 1041. C937, we have further. In other words, get ready.
Right.
They've already got a stack of calls for you. And it's like
wow.
that call to call to call.
And I am in no way throwing shade on the highway patrol. I'm just saying it's not their fault, and it is a shame that we are so down in numbers that it had to take that long. Because let me tell you the trickle-down effect. They're out there trying to tend to somebody, get them in the ambulance as fast as they could because this person was hurt. The other one, not so much hurt, but they had to still attend to them. And nobody was there to take, okay, somebody said, one of the neighbors in the yard said, where's the wrecker? I said, well, wait a minute now. I don't think the fire truck calls the wrecker.
Usually the trooper
I think
does.
you've got to wait till that trooper gets here to call the wrecker. She said, well, the car's in the middle of the road, da-da-da. So it's a trickle-down effect. Until the trooper can get there, the wrecker can't be called. Until the wrecker comes, the cars have to stay in the road. There's somebody else. It's a trickle-down effect. And you don't think about it, just like
Dialing
always,
911,
until you're in
That's
the
right.
middle of a situation, you're experiencing it, and then the lights come on. Oh gosh, you know, they're down 400 officers, and look how long it took to get here. So it kind
And
of
Nash
hit me in
County
the
Sheriff
face.
and Nash County Sheriff today is down roughly 30 positions.
Oh.
There's 30 vacant positions at the Nash County Sheriff's Office. So if you live in Nash County, because of the games going on with the Nash County Board of Commissioners, your public safety is being toyed with over political personalities, and the sheriff's not able to hire these people and get them in place over games, over hurt feelings.
Well, you know, I did,
And it
like I
affects
said,
everybody who needs to dial 911. Just
Yes.
like that situation. Usually when the highway patrol's backed up, county deputies step in, the sheriff's department steps in, they send a unit. But look, I mean, 30 positions down,
right. You can't.
They can't.
There was no law enforcement for a long time. Just like the lady that spoke at the commissioners, I mean, she got up there and spoke and said, my house got broke into and it was 2.5 hours.
Yep.
2.5 hours.
From a taxpayer standpoint, that is unacceptable. It's unacceptable. Just like in Bailey, you know, when you dial 911 and you need a rescue squad and it responds from Red Oak, folks, that is unacceptable. And if you live in Red Oak and Middlesex has to come up here on an EMS call, that is unacceptable. I don't care who you vote for, that's unacceptable.
All right, well, Purnell's telling us we have got to go to break, and we're going to come back and get into some cases. I know that's what you like to hear, but all of these other things that we're talking about as far as, you know, the law enforcement, all that, it all pertains to K-Files. That's what this is all about. It's law enforcement and public safety and all of that. That's what the show's all about. So anyway, we'll be back, get into some cases right after this. Okay, we have had a request. We like that. If you want to hear something about a case, then we will certainly try to do that. And JP has done some research, and we're going to give you the initial story on this. And we have to call and get some information, see if anything's happened since then with the Sheriff's Department in Washington. Is that Beaufort County?
I believe it is.
Beaufort County. So we'll call this week and see if we can get some details, but it's a very intriguing case.
It is.
Tell us what it is, JP.
This is down in Little Washington. Washington police confirm that a car was found in the creek linked to missing men. And I'm just going to read a small bit of this article.
Okay.
Police now confirm that a car found this past weekend in Jacks Creek is connected to 3 men who have been missing for more than 40 years.
Can you imagine?
40 years.
40 years, 3 men missing.
And they've got a picture here of the vehicle, and I'm telling you, the only thing remaining of this vehicle is the chassis, the steering wheel, and tires. That's it. Everything is gone. It says that Washington Police and Fire Services told WITN this morning that the vehicle identified was pulled from the remains. It does match the 1975 Chevrolet Camaro that Bill Clifton, David McMinn, and Michael Norman, that they were in. The 3 were last seen in a bar in Chocowinity December 10th, 1982. The police chief, Rollinson, down there said that they are now seeing hard work pay off, and I think someone kind of floating in a raft with sonar equipment, just kind of treasure hunting or something, may have stumbled upon this. But we're going to call, we're going to get some more information and try to report back with some more details learned.
Yeah, because this is the longest cold case I've come across since we've been doing this. So even though it's not our county, it's a very interesting case, and it is a cold case. And you never know, because we put this on YouTube.
Yeah.
We put it on YouTube. So you never know who might see that and, respond. So, okay, we'll go to our local cold cases.
The first case we're going to talk about today is Timothy Arrington. Timothy Arrington. This case is from April 30th, 2017. Around 9 o'clock p.m. on April 30th, 2017, Rocky Mount Police was called to a shooting at 428 Paul Street in Rocky Mount. Timothy Arrington was in a vehicle with 2 others in the driveway, 428 Paul Street. When Arrington exited the vehicle, another vehicle pulled up, and that occupant fired shots at Arrington. Arrington was pronounced dead at the scene. The other 2 that were in the vehicle were not hurt in the shooting, so they're lucky.
Yes. If you know anything, Paul Street is over there around Edwards Barbecue, where it used to be, and Nashville Road, and Rocky Mountain Undergarment used to be on Paul Street. So that's where Paul Street is.
Is that place still there? I know Edwards Barbecue is long gone, but is there a restaurant or anything like that?
I don't think so.
I used to get my hair cut at that barbershop many years ago.
There was a barbershop. You're exactly right.
I can't think of his name for the life of me. Mr. Webb.
Oh,
His
okay.
name, Webb's Barbershop. Very soft-spoken, very kind man.
Okay.
He was my barber
Well,
once upon a time.
right over there,
Yeah.
428 St. Paul Street in Rocky Mount, 9 p.m. at night, April 30th. So if you know anything, please come forward. You can get some money in cash real quick. Don't have to go to court. We just have to make an arrest. That's all. The police department just has to make an arrest, and if the tip pans out, then you will get paid in cash money, usually within 48 hours, up to $15,000. So it's very simple, and we will not. We have bunches of anonymous tips that have come in through Fighting Crime, and we don't give out names. We do not. It serves no purpose. So we want you to trust our system so that we can get tips and solve crimes.
We've got people sitting behind bars right now thanks to an anonymous tip, thanks to an anonymous phone call, and they got paid for it.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
This next case that we're going to discuss is Robert Lynch. Robert Lynch. This case is from August 10th, 2017. Robert R. Lynch, 44 years old at the time, in the early morning hours. He was shot to death outside of 152 Tony Circle in Rocky Mount. Someone found Robert Lynch laying outside with gunshot wounds, and they called 911. Robert Lynch, August 10th, 2017, 152 Tony Circle, Rocky Mount.
And I do not know where Tony
I don't
Circle
either.
is. I have no idea. But anyway, Robert Lynch, as JP said, August of 17. So if you know anything, and if you want one of these books, please stop by and get one. We should be printing some new ones soon so we can add some more cases to it. We don't want to add more cases because we don't want new cases, but...
And you can follow along, make notes, and keep it with you. I mean, who knows?
Yeah.
You might be part of a conversation somewhere, sharing this with someone, and it could lead to a tip. It could lead to an arrest. It could lead to someone being brought to justice.
Absolutely. Okay.
This next case is James Earl Harper. James Earl Harper. This case is from September 6th, 2017. Around 2:15 a.m., Rocky Mount Police was called after a passerby saw a man lying on the ground on the 500 block of Arrington Street in Rocky Mount. Upon arrival, they found James Earl Harper, who was 65 at the time, suffering from a gunshot wound. Mr. Harper died of his injuries. Mr. Harper was walking to a 24-hour store near his home on Boone Street. His wallet was missing, and he had no money on him. There were 2 different caliber shell casings found, indicating that there was more than one suspect. So, just based on that, I mean, it looks like a robbery, at least 2 suspects. Robbery was the motive.
Right.
Took his money, took his wallet, took his life.
2:15, but
2:15.
again, I have to say, 2:15 a.m. I mean, couldn't you have gotten what you needed earlier than that? I mean, it was a 24-hour store, open 24 hours, true, but
Most 65-year-old men are not up to no good at 2 o'clock in the morning.
No.
Usually it's younger people.
Yes.
Okay, 65 years old, 2 o'clock. Okay, who knows? He could have woke up with heartburn.
yeah, I mean, he might have needed something
some,
bad.
Advil or aspirin or in any case, I mean, it's terrible that his life was taken just for walking to the store. I wouldn't walk to the store at 2:15 in the morning
No.
at Arrington Street,
No.
Rocky Mount, but you don't know why he was going.
Right.
But it's just a shame.
It is. It really is. So if anybody knows anything about James Earl Harper and who did this, please let us know. We got to go to break. And we'll give you some weather, come right back, and give you some more cases. Okay, welcome back to the K-Files. We will continue with our next case.
Okay, the next case that we're going to be discussing is Keenan Marshall Mercer. This case is from September 15th, 2017. Keenan Marshall Mercer, who was 20 years old at the time, was riding his bike near 843 South Pine Street in Rocky Mount around 9:40 a.m. when he was shot and killed.
And
Killed on
that's
his
it.
bicycle.
We
That's
don't
it.
have a lot. We don't have a lot. He was riding his bicycle on Pine Street and shot.
Now, Pine Street, in my mind, I have it over there near the, what is that, Pineview Cemetery?
No, Pine Street is off of Sunset.
Okay.
Do you remember where the old Ann's Donuts used to be originally? It's on that street. Barca Lounger was on that street.
I got you.
Was it Burlington? Barca Lounger. Barca Lounger. No, Burlington. Yeah, Burlington Mills was on that street. So, Pine Street.
Okay.
Right off of Sunset Avenue. If you know anything, we don't have a lot of detail, but if you know this gentleman that was shot and killed, please give his family closure. He was only 21 years old and lost his life. Keenan Marshall Mercer. So, guess who we have next?
Yeah, this next one has been, I would say, one of the top two cases in this book. Top two cases that I get questioned about: Randy Colgrove and Mr. Cobb,
Yes.
Commissioner Cobb. This case is Randy Colgrove. This case is from October 21, 2017. Nash County Sheriff's Office responded to a person lying in the driveway of a home on Highway 58 out in the Sandy Cross community near Vivert Road, just outside of Nashville. Once on the scene, they found Randy Colgrove deceased from gunshot wounds. Randy Colgrove, October 21, 2017. Yeah, he was found, in the driveway.
And didn't they say the reason he was out in the driveway was because it was a home invasion, and he tried to chase them?
Well, yeah,
It's what they believe.
Yeah, I've heard it both ways now, though.
Right,
Yeah.
okay.
And, I've actually been told more recently than not that they actually think he was being pursued
Oh. Out of the house.
out of the house.
Well, he was out of the house regardless, and he was found dead in his driveway. It's a long path. If you know where it is on 58, Vivert Road, it just kind of veers off, and it's just a long path. You can see all the way back there. You can't see where his home was or anything from the road. That's how far back it is. It's close to the dumpster area, the convenience center, with the where you take your trash. It's very close to that convenience center right there on 58. So, anyway, if you know anything about Randy Colgrove, I've only heard really good things. He was a barber.
Yeah. He cut my hair from time to time.
And they just said he was the nicest person, never, wouldn't bother anybody. So how would you have a home invasion back in the woods like that?
But a lot of barbers deal in cash.
Yes.
Okay? A lot of barbers, they meet so many people.
And somebody knew that.
Yeah.
Somebody knew that. So, anyway, if you know anything about this, Nash County has been trying to solve this case since 2017. So please come forward. It will be anonymous. The next case is what they call the House of Cards.
The House of Cards. Leroy William Dunston. This case is from December 23rd. It's amazing how many cases are Christmas Eve or the day
It
of
is.
Christmas or
Around
that 2 or 3
holidays.
day stretch. It's just, it amazes me.
I know.
Leroy William Dunston, December 23rd, 2017. Leroy Dunston, who was 44 years old at the time, was murdered at a card game at 843 Gay Street in Rocky Mount. Around 4:55 a.m., police were called to respond to a shooting. When they arrived, they found Dunston in the driver's seat of his vehicle, suffering from multiple gunshot wounds.
I believe the police department said when they came one time and talked about this case, when Lindell was here, that they believed that of course, he was up on his winnings. He was winning a lot of money, so he had a lot of money on him.
Yeah.
And so somebody in there, of course, did not like that. So I don't know where they did what they, I don't know where they killed him. But anyway, he was taken out of the house to the vehicle, they believe, and put in the vehicle because of the way he was positioned. In the driver's seat, I believe his leg was hanging out, or either another speculation was that he was running, trying to get in the car and didn't make it. They got him before he closed the door. I don't know. But anyway, they said he was winning the card games. Now, how the police department knows that, they must have talked to somebody else that was playing that night. I don't know. But anyway, Leroy William Dunston, Gay Street, that is over close to Pine Street, off of Sunset, same area.
That's the bad thing about what I call liquor houses or card houses or things like that. A lot of people go to engage in these games of chance. So these people right out of the gate, they have a lot of cash on them. Everybody who goes has cash.
Yes.
So people that are standing around watching these people, they're over there on their phones texting others, hey, so-and-so's here, he drives or whatever.
Yes.
Robbery becomes motive.
Right.
It leads to other elements of crime. That's why these liquor houses and things like that, they bring so much crime and things to these little rural communities, or even right here in Rocky Mount. Like this sounds like it could have been a liquor house.
Yes. And I believe they said it was. I believe they, said, just like the one in Pine Tops, we did a thing on the situation, the case in Pine Tops.
And see, a lot of times if everybody's engaged in this criminal activity, when police roll up and say, hey, what was going on here? Nothing. Well, what did you see?
Right.
Nothing. They're afraid of incriminating themselves from the activity they were engaging in.
JP, let's start with the book for the day, and let's read Operation Thunder on the Hill. Did you hear about that?
No.
This week on Star Street, which is over here by Gay Street, this made me think, this is very relative, I think, something that we should do on the K-Files. So we'll end it, if you don't mind, with this real quick. There was a huge drug bust. Puddy was his last name, Puddy, and we had the pictures up earlier this week, but just real quick, they worked on, Nash County worked on this case for 3 years. Buying, getting an informant to buy, because the more you buy, the more, you can keep them, hold them. If you just go in and you just bought drugs, an informant has bought drugs a couple of times, it's just not going to hold up in court.
Yeah, they can argue it was the first and only time they ever did it.
They want to show longevity.
That's right.
And so, yes, they did, and Nash County was able to do this. And since September of 2022, Nash County Sheriff's Office has been investigating the drug trafficking organization of Carvel Puddy. The investigation began with citizen complaints of narcotic activity surrounding Carvel's residences on Star Street in Rocky Mount. Throughout the investigation, the Nash County Sheriff's Office performed surveillance on multiple confidential informants throughout the investigation that were able to purchase cocaine, fentanyl. They found a lot of fentanyl. Killer. And there's Mr. Puddy right there. Good job, Purnell. Nash County Sheriff's Office learned through the investigation that this organization has ties to local gangs in Rocky Mount and are usually in possession of firearms while conducting the business of the drug trafficking organization. During the investigation, a juvenile took a firearm to a Nash County Rocky Mount public school that was linked to a residence utilized by the drug trafficking organization. Several of the residences utilized by this drug trafficking organization have been involved in shootings and violence, which are common amongst houses utilized for this type of activity. Through the investigation, a total of 664 grams of cocaine, 419 fentanyl pills were seized, along with firearms, and just goes on and on and on. And there were 2 other people involved with him that they have arrested. They think there's probably more. It was ALE, Edgecombe County, Nash County, Wake County. I don't know where Wake County came in, but they were part of it too. And here we go. I mean, it was huge. The other day they blocked off Sunset to do this. They blocked off Sunset. Everybody was calling me saying, oh, what's going on? Star Street was blocked off, everything, so they could make this thing go down. So I just thought this was it's big. It was a really big operation. It was called Thunder on the Hill. And so I just wanted to mention this, the good work of taking drugs off the street again.
You know, nobody can argue that we don't have a working sheriff.
Absolutely.
Nobody.
And what did he tell us he was going to do when he was elected?
Yeah.
Drugs, gangs.
He's always been a results-driven individual.
Absolutely.
He is.
Yes. So I thought I'd close with this since it was such a big sting operation. Thank you to all the agencies involved, and so we're glad that's off the street, and they're off the street. So anyway, that ends the K-Files for today. Thank you, JP, and we will see you next week.